Hey, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen, and on this channel I want to share whatever I learn on my creative journey with you, and I hope you get something out of it. Currently I'm teaching and traveling and very busy, so I created something for you to keep you busy as well, which is a drawing bingo card. Maybe you already downloaded it. Good for you. Maybe you actually already checked everything off and you have bingo. Well, then put that in the comments. I love to see that. Keep drawing. And if you don't have the bingo card yet, you can download it through the link below this video in the description. And for today, I have a video for you that is about drawing an interior. I love drawing inside and outside, and I often draw my living room. And in today's video, I am drawing the living room that isn't mine anymore because I moved. But I think the approach I'm taking is very helpful for you. I really hope you get something out of it and that you try drawing your living room or someone else's maybe. Whatever, as long as you draw, have fun. Right now, as I'm filming this, our apartment is in a state of chaos. So yes, we are moving, and we have lived in this apartment for 13 years. It has brought us so much joy, and I have made many drawings of this living room. And so before we started packing boxes, I sat down one more time to draw the living room, to say goodbye, to savor all those good memories, you know, and just to document what is going on. And I filmed the process of drawing because I got so many great responses on the drawing that I did outside on location. I thought, well, maybe I can capture this process of drawing inside as well. I'd also like to answer some questions from patrons and from people on YouTube that I might just all address in the voiceover of this video. Enjoy! One of the questions that I get a lot from students, patrons and online followers is, where do I start? First of all, don't think too much, just start anywhere. If you want to draw a scene or a view, you've picked it as your subject because there's something about it that captured your attention. Then start with whatever stands out for you. Most likely that is the thing that you want to tell your story about. After all, drawing is visual storytelling. And with each drawing, you tell a story, your story. And because it's your story, there is no right or wrong. And yes, then it could happen that part of the scene doesn't fit on the paper. That happens to me all the time. And I don't mind at all. In fact, I love that surprise element. As long as I have my main focus on the paper, the rest may not be as important anyway. Sometimes people ask, but how do I get everything in? The ceiling and the walls and all the clutter, things that overlap and everything that's going on. It can feel confusing and overwhelming if you're looking at the whole. And if you want to capture that whole scene exactly the way it is, you could just as well take a picture maybe. When you're drawing, you're translating your interpretation of the scene onto paper. That's why it's so exciting when you're with a group of people like the urban sketchers and you're all capturing the same building, for example. Every single drawing will be so very different. Still, you will recognize the building in each of them. And even for your own drawings, I've drawn the same corner of my living room so many times, and the drawings have never turned out the same. Even though I just told you to start anywhere, there is a way to start to give yourself a lot of landmarks to work with later on in the drawing. When there's something in the foreground, and this could be a chair like in my view here, you can start with that. Focus on just that thing in the foreground and forget about the whole scene around it. Yes, there might be clutter further up in the room and things are overlapping, but for now, the chair is everything. It's like meditation, where you pay attention to your breathing, for example, and whenever your mind gets distracted, you notice it and turn your attention back to your breathing again. My line and that chair is all I'm thinking about. And that brings me to another comment I get a lot. Chairs are hard. I know, there's overlap and there's perspective, but it helps me to look at the negative spaces rather than the overall shape. That way you can tackle perspective and complicated shapes without overthinking. I made a few videos about that. You can find them here on this channel. Once I have my foreground, I am drawing what I see next to it. It's overlapping and I can use all sorts of landmarks now, like the foot of the small cabinet ends halfway the back of the chair. It helps to close one eye to see these kinds of proportions and connections much clearer. By closing one eye, you're looking in 2D rather than 3D, and your drawing, of course, is 2D. And now I move along, drawing the plant and the mantelpiece. And for some parts of my drawing, I use a continuous line, just to keep my line going and not get lost in detail. And that answers 2 questions from patrons. Penny says that she struggles with the details of a scene, and Dee would like to know how to simplify and identify what tells a story rather than capturing it all. Well, let's unpack those questions. The details of a scene can be the overwhelming part, right? Whether it's clutter in a living room or chairs and tables in front of a cafe. Decide how important you find these things to describe. Sometimes when I'm drawing a building, I'm happily drawing along and then suddenly I realize that there's a lot of things going on at the bottom of the building. I hadn't really noticed or realized it when I started drawing, because it was the shape of the building or the balcony or the color that struck me. So then I know the balcony or that color, they are the important part of my story. Do I need to add whatever is going on at the bottom of the building? You can skip it. Or you can draw it. There is no right or wrong. Often I enjoy drawing these kinds of things. They are part of a street. They characterize what kind of street the building is in. But often I simplify them. If there are bikes, maybe a few circles and lines can describe the clutter of bicycles. Chairs and tables, try and find the main horizontal and vertical lines and try to abbreviate. When it's clutter in the living room, maybe scribbly lines and a few blobs of color are enough to describe it. Abbreviation is really helpful when you want to simplify. How to identify what tells the story? Well, listen to your thoughts. Is there something particular about the scene that you would talk about with a friend? Maybe that's your main focal point. You don't have to draw it all. And if you do, consider adding shading or color to just parts of the drawing, so you can emphasize on the story you want to tell. Some people jump around in their drawings. I often stay close to the lines that I've put down. I'm knitting my way through the scene, really only focusing on the shape that touches the shape that I just put down on paper, then the next shape and the next. I'm not even thinking about what will come later, like the ceiling or the wall on the other side. All I worry about is figuring out how to put down the shapes that I am drawing then and there. Again, meditative and being present in the moment. Some lines are very wonky, but I'm not letting my inner critic distract me about it. And since you're an artist, there's artistic liberty. If you'd like to leave something out because it doesn't benefit your composition, that's fine. Just don't leave things out because you think you can't draw them. Then you'll never get better at it. I'm actually adding something in order to make the composition more balanced. Because I started drawing the chair kind of in the middle of the page, I now have white space left at the bottom. I could use this to add writing, but I'd rather fill the page with more drawing, so I'm adding the mug of coffee. And now that I did that bit of hatching for the coffee in the mug, I feel that gives too much emphasis. The eye loves contrast, so the attention gets attracted by the coffee now, while I want my story to be about the space of the living room and kitchen behind it. To solve this problem that I just created for myself, I add more dark bits. I also filmed the process while I added watercolor, but by then I was so hunched over that I blocked the view of the camera. A rookie mistake, I know. Oh well, at least it shows how much I was enjoying drawing and forgot about the camera. Well, I hope you liked it. I will be off packing more boxes. If you are watching this video, I have already moved, so that is good news, and I cannot wait to draw my new living room and my new home and capture all of that inside and out in my new place. I will see you next week on another Draw Tip Tuesday video. Bye!